Yes, so most of the people who are watching the stream, I suppose, are students. And a very common question that we get is when would be the ideal time to start competitive coding? And once they do start, how, what would be an ideal frequency to practice, to dedicate to competitive coding?
Good. So most people that I know of start somewhere in third or fourth year. So this is typically what happens, and that's good enough. But if you aim to be good, the earlier you start, the much better. So about frequency, I'd say if you spend some time on the weekends, that's good enough to start with. But then you'll start seeing that if you actually feel interested in this, you'll see that you're actually doing it on a daily basis. So frequency, I'd say to start with, you can do it on weekends or on a weekly basis. And it's a good idea to discuss with friends as well. Yeah. So the earlier you start, the better. That is in general. But usually people start around third or fourth year. But if you start in the second year or in the first year, especially, that gives you a huge advantage. Any more questions? Okay. Refactoring code. So, okay. So typically in competitive programs, this won't be or it shouldn't be a headache if I put it this way. So you shouldn't have to worry about refactoring your code because readability is not really a goal in competitive programming, which is also one of the points people use against competitive programming, that you sort of just hack your way through a problem and not write readable code. But of course, it does help you and others who are reading also to keep your program readable. So refactoring doesn't apply too much in this case. Where it will trip you is if you've written a lot of code and at some point you're stuck and you just see that there's a mess of code and you start seeing about how do I go from here. At that point, maybe refactoring will help you. I don't have any other tips on how you can refactor your code when you're doing competitive programming. Okay, so the other suggestion is to mention ICPC again. So ICPC stands for Intercollegiate Programming Contest. I think I might have got something wrong. But yeah, that is one of the most prestigious programming competitions. The the difficulty will get hard, but that shouldn't stop you from taking part. If if you take part from your college and you move on even to regionals, it's a good indication that you've been active in competitive programming and it'll give you a lot of exposure. So it's always a good idea to take part in ICPC. And other than this, there's also CodeJam and Hacker Cup, like I mentioned. Okay, so the next question is, what would be more preferable, C++ or Python? So it depends on what you're used to. Generally, C++ is said to be faster, but you usually have different time limits for Python. It's a more relaxed time limit for Python, and Python actually gives you a host of tools for writing programs very quickly. So there are people who prefer Python too. So if you've been using Python and you feel very comfortable with Python, then I would say go ahead and use Python. But if you're thinking about starting, C++ is a good place to start. But it's important to know that you shouldn't limit yourself to either C++ or Python. It's good to stick to one because you're comfortable with one and you don't have to think much about it. But you should always make sure that you're comfortable using anything for solving a given problem. If you think you can solve something in Python in a much more efficient way, then you should go ahead and use Python. So the next question is, doesn't it get repetitive after a point? So if you notice that questions are getting repetitive, that's a good indicator that you have to start solving more advanced questions. So at one point you'll see that, okay, I just have to sort here or I just have to do a binary search. If you see yourself seeing at that point, then you should know that there are always harder questions to solve. For example, you can never run out of unique problems when it comes to something like number theory, or you can take up Project Euler and start solving problems there. So if you notice it's getting repetitive, it's a good idea to take a step back and see what kind of problems you're solving and try to solve harder problems. Any more questions? About writing tests. Tests won't directly apply here again. Tests will help you if you're writing programs for projects. Here, testing will help you, but not tests. I wouldn't suggest you write tests when you're doing competitive programming. Testing, if you're asking how to get better at testing your own code, then it only comes with practice. You can see what sort of edge cases you fail in. That is the main idea behind testing in the first place. You see the edge cases and see where it might fail.
So another common question we get is what kind of language should we prefer for competitive coding practices? Because often when people are in computer science, they when they build projects, they often use languages like JavaScript, Java, or C Sharp. So what language do you exactly recommend for people? So whether they should keep two languages, C++ should be separate for competitive coding and something else for building softwares, or should they stick to one language and just practice the same in it?
Cool. So for competitive programming, if you look at the languages that are offered, there are a lot of judges that give you a wide range of options actually. But some of the ones that are present almost everywhere are C++, Python, and Java. So you can pick any of these, and if you get comfortable, you can continue using these for competitive programming. That shouldn't stop you from using any other language for building projects itself. Personally, I use C++ for competitive programming for most cases, unless I know for sure that I can do it very easily in Python or Java. And for projects, I usually prefer Python or Java. So yeah, you can use different languages for competitive programming and for projects as well, and that's highly recommended. So you shouldn't limit yourself to just one language, although it is better for competitive programming that you know something and you're comfortable with a particular language, but you can use either. It's good to use the popular languages like C++, Java, and Python because it's almost certain that editorials will have solutions in those languages. Or if you're trying to solve a particular problem or if you're looking for implementations in that language, that will give you a lot of support. Cool. I think we can take one last question. Any more question? Cool. I think we're good then. All right. Thanks everyone. Thanks for attending.
One more question, I think.
Yeah, go on. Oh, I didn't scroll, sorry. Oh, there are a bunch of messages, sorry. Okay. Yeah, let me read. Okay, so brute force is a good place to start with. Almost always, if you implement it correctly, brute force will give you a correct solution, and that's a good place to start. But a lot of times you will have to improve the algorithm for it to pass, and that is the main idea behind competitive programming, which is to improve your algorithm better to come up with more efficient programs. So if your question is how to improve, then it's not an answer that you will like. It is that you have to practice and you have to read the editorials, and with time you'll be able to see how to solve in a better way.